In this video, we're going to look at a triple integral, and we're going to try to visualize what region it's talking about. Now, I've already done us some help by doing a brief sketch of some functions, but let's kind of dig into what all of this stuff means. So our goal, I don't really care about what this 2 means. I'm interested in what region we're integrating over. So how am I going to find that? Well, these bounds of integration secretly give me 3 inequalities. One of those inequalities is that 5x squared is less than or equal to z is less than or equal to 36 minus 4x squared minus 4y squared. The next inequality is that 0 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 1/2 square root of 36 minus 9x squared. And last but not least, my last inequality is that 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 2. So those are my 3 inequalities. What do those mean? Well, this first one is basically saying that my z-coordinate is always going to be between this here and this is I'm going to call this the upside down bowl. So my z-coordinate is below the upside down bowl, but above, I'm going to call this the canoe. It's above this canoe shape. So all it's saying is we're looking at the region between these two. What's this next inequality saying? Well, it's saying that y is between 0 and this thing. And this thing seems weird, but it's actually not weird. I promise you that. Why is it not weird? Because this is just telling us what happens. So I'll say, let's ask a question. If I smush the graphs, or my region, I'll say, if I smush my region between the bowl and the canoe, onto the XY plane, what does it look like? And what this is going to end up being is, since we have a function here and a function there, I'm interested in where these functions intersect. So I'm going to check, where does 5x squared equal 36 minus 4x squared minus 4y squared? And if I solve that for y, maybe I start by subtracting 36 and adding 4x squared to both sides. Actually, no, we can do this better. How about I add 4y squared, big move, and subtract 5x squared from both sides. If I do that, then on this side, I'm going to have 4y squared equals 36 minus 9x squared. You can go ahead and square root both sides. We get 2y equals plus or minus square root of 36 minus 9x squared. And then finally, we get y equals 1/2 times. I'll write it as plus or minus 1/2 square root of 36 minus 9x squared. And you may or may not know this, but that shape right there is going to be a, looks like it's going to be, what shape do we have here? I think it's an ellipse. I believe it's an ellipse where my x coordinate is going to be 2 and my y coordinate is going to be 3. I could be wrong there. I don't think I am. So we have some shape kinda, sorta, kinda like this. And that is the shape where if I smushed this region down, this is what I would see. Okay. So the thing is, where is that relevant? This up here is going to be exactly that 1/2 square root of 36 minus 9x squared that we saw up here. So we don't need to freak out about that. That's not anything crazy. That's just the upper half of this intersection. The 0 means that I'm really only looking at positive y values. So I'm only looking at values here And I'm going to go ahead and shade all the things here that have positive y values. Eventually, I'm going to need to erase some of this, but for right now, we'll shade that in. Okay. Last but not least, we have this here. We have the integral from 0 to 2. My x is between 0 and 2. That basically means that I'm also throwing out all of the places where x is negative. So I'm only looking at places where x is bigger than 0, y is bigger than 0. I'll draw x equals greater than or equal to 0 that way. So we need x is greater than or equal to 0, y is greater than or equal to 0, and then it's the space between these two shapes. So just to summarize, what region are we integrating over? It's the region between this upside down bowl and this canoe that's in the first octant, the place that has positive x coordinates and positive y coordinates, technically also positive z coordinates because this 5x squared is always going to be positive. So that gives us an idea of what we're integrating. Next, what we're going to look at is trying to write this using different orders of integration. So let's go ahead and do that.